Very good evening, everyone. So today we are gonna look at judgment, which is really interesting. So when I started to read the judgment, it literally reminded me of Venkat Prabhu's film Manadu. So this judgment goes in a loop. It has been fantastically written, and this made me feel like okay, this is something best, and we should be explaining this to people outside. So a man was accused for sexual assault, and the judgment was pronounced within 2 days from the day of arrest, and this is the speediest and fastest judgment which was given in the recent time. So he was given with a rigorous imprisonment of 6 months. So I'll just get to go through the case, so you will be interested to know what actually I learned. So this is between state of Maharashtra through PSO police station and versus Sameer Nana Shrirang Jadhav. Accused is facing trial for the offence punishable under section 354, 452 and 506 of Indian Penal Code. So I'll tell you the fact of the case first. The accused is the owner of a hotel, and he followed the person who was employed there, a woman, and after the working hours of the hotel, she is a person who rolls chapatis in the hotel, and by 10:30 when the victim has reached the home, the accused followed her to her home, and he started to outrage her modesty. He pulled the pad of her sari, touched her stomach, held her cheeks, kissed her, and he asked whether she is ready to live with him and abandon her family. And she said that she cannot be doing it, and he threatened to say that I am a person of a great acquaintance and I can do anything, and I will tarnish your family if you say this incident to anyone else. And he left the home. So during this incident, the son and daughter of the informant, I mean the victim, is there in the home. So they got to witness this. So at the time of 1 p.m, she was crying, and that's when her husband came in. His name is Sandeep. So when the informant's husband came in, he inquired what was the problem, and she said nothing, and she is just quite unwell, and she went to sleep. Throughout the night she was feeling unwell and she couldn't sleep, and the threatening call which was given by the accused came into her mind, and she was sleepless and she started to weep a lot. Sandeep inquired her about the same thing next day morning, and that is 25th of the month, and he asked whether she has to be taken to the doctor, and she said no, I'm fine, it will be okay. Again he inquired what actually happened, and she narrated all the story of she being forced and threatened, and her modesty was outraged, and all the incident totally. He called the mother of the accused and asked her to come to the home, and after she reached the home, he explained what her son did, and she begged sorry and not to file a complaint. The accused followed his mother to the informant's home, and he kicked the door, went into the home and said that I am a person of business and I know what to do, and he said he'll tarnish the family, and he left the home. Soon after this incident, he reached the police station. He lodged a complaint, non-cognizable complaint against the informant's husband Sandeep, stating that there was a money transaction and he threatened to kill him. So he made the first move of complaining against the informant's husband, and the police official was forced to make a NC against him, so he cannot do anything more but to register a complaint, after which he has to obtain a permission from the magistrate to investigate the things, since this was something very serious. While the mother of the accused reached the home, and when the informant's husband was explaining all the incident to her, the accused threatened not only the informant but also the family whole, and I don't know why, but the mother of the accused snatched the phone of the informant and she locked the door from outside the house, probably to protect the informant and the family from the accused who might be showing some danger in the place. So after this was happening, the NC was registered against Sandeep, who is the informant's husband. The informant and her husband was called the next day. When they reached the police station and NC was registered against them, this information was given and they were inquired. The informant and her husband explained everything in total, and they said what actually happened. So immediately the SO of the police station arranged a lady officer who could investigate further, and she took the informant to her home and asked her to explain everything in detail. She mapped out whatever happened and the places where the accused had outraged the modesty of the women. A spot Panchanama was also prepared and this report was submitted and FIR was lodged against the accused this time. So this was moved to the court. When the inquiry was made by the judge, the learned counsel appearing for the accused and also for the informant, they both made the statement. When the statement was made, the learned counsel for the accused said that herein the witness is the son Shreyas, who is the one supporting the informant for giving the witness and who stated what actually happened. Since he was a child, the learned counsel for the accused said that this cannot be relied upon, and during the cross-examination he somewhere mentioned that these are the things which are happened and my parents said me this and this is what the truth is. So the learned counsel mentioned that he has been tutored and his evidence cannot be relied upon, and moreover Sandeep was not present during the incident, and so him being her husband, he might probably creating implications of fake and false when a person is not present there during the incident. How can it be relied? This could be a false fabrication of the case. So I'll just get to read one or two paragraphs from the judgment. Already stated that this is more like a loop, and you would be like flabbergasted to know how the judgment was actually drafted. So herein, according to the section 313 1B of Code of Criminal Procedure, the accused statement has all been registered in a proper way. One thing which I observed from this judgment was tabulated 3 statements for which the affirmation was given by the people who actually got to go through this. So I'll just read the tabulation for you. Thus, prosecution proved that 24/1/2022 at about 10 p.m. at Shakir Vasti, Hinjewadi, Pune, accused outraged modesty of the informant and thereby committed an offence punishable under 354 of IPC. Yes. Thus, prosecution proved that on the above mentioned date, time and place, accused committed house trespass by entering into or unlawfully remaining in the house of the informant used as human dwelling, having made preparation of causing hurt to the informant or for assaulting or wrongfully restraining her or for putting her in fear of hurt or assault or wrongfully restrained and thereby committed the offence of punishable under 452 of IPC. Yes. Thus, a prosecution proved that on same date, time and place, accused committed criminal intimidation by threatening the informant and thereby committed an offence punishable under 506 of IPC. Yes. So, the learned counsel for the accused made his argument. After hearing him, when the informant's counsel appeared, he clearly answered all the statements with proper evidence and supported it throughout in a proper way. Herein, what we have to notably find that is, the counsel for the accused stated that there was a monetary transaction between the accused and the informant's husband, and which was demanded by the accused, for which the informant's husband made a complaint, made a false allegation against him. But the learned counsel for appearing for the informant stated that if this was true, if there was any monetary transaction between the both, if that is the reason for the informant's husband to make a complaint, he would be the first person to do it and not the reverse way. So herein it was the accused who made the complaint first and not the informant's husband. He tried to settle the dispute in a proper and normal way. He was stating about the monetary transaction. He though submitted the WhatsApp conversation, it had nothing regarding money or anything. It is normal for any employee to have the owner's number in his or her contact. So that cannot be stated to be a contact or illicit relationship between them or a concern too. So these are the things to be noted. So those statements which were brought up by the learned counsel for the accused, he was unable to prove it or he immediately omitted it during the cross-examination. So as I stated, this actually gets to go in a loop mode, but it has a different ending to everything. So you should probably get to go through the judgment on the whole. I'll read out the relief which was given by the judge to the informant, and you would be amazed to know why I meant it is a loop mode. Accused is convicted for the offence punishable under 354, 452 and 506 of Indian Penal Code, White section 248(2) of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Accused is sentenced to suffer rigorous imprisonment for 6 months and fine of Rs 3,000. In default, to suffer simple imprisonment for 1 month for the offence punishable under 354 of Indian Penal Code. Accused is sentenced to suffer rigorous imprisonment for 6 months and a fine of rupees 3000. In default, to suffer simple imprisonment for 1 month for the offence punishable under section 452 of Indian Penal Code. Accused is sentenced to suffer rigorous imprisonment for 6 months and fine of rupees 3000. In default, to suffer simple imprisonment for 1 month for the offence punishable under 506 of Indian Penal Code. The substantive sentence shall run concurrently. The period of imprisonment undergoes as under trial prisoner by accused 27/1/2022 till today be set off against the substantive sentence under section 428 of Criminal Procedure Code. Out of the amount of fine, if required from the accused, the amount of 9,000 be paid to the informant as compensation under section 357(1)(b) of Code of Criminal Procedure after appeal is over. And last and final touch, copy of the judgment to be given to the accused free of cost. Okay. The SO of the police station said that it got delayed to register in CCTNS, which means Criminal Case Tracking Network System, wherein they file these cases, got delayed because of a technical problem and not because of the informant, and it was returned down when the informant reached the police station and narrated the incident. This is an in and out game between the learned counsel appearing for the witness and on behalf of the informant. This is one fantastic judgment, and this is very speedy. On 27th, the case was registered. On 27th, it came to the court, and 29th, the judgment was given. And that's something for which we should give a big applause to the judge, and I'm really thankful that they made this. And last part of the judgment to be read out for real. Accused is of 31 years of age. He has committed an offence against women, therefore it is not entitled for the benefit of Probation of Offenders Act. While discussing the evidence adduced by the prosecution, it appears that accused has taken undue advantage of the informant and outraged her modesty. This act is increasing day by day in society and shall be curbed at its threshold, otherwise it will result in nipping a young life in bud. Even after commission of this offence, accused done overact by threatening the informant and Sandeep, and himself lodged NC at police station. His threat was so grievous that the informant could not sleep for whole night and was crying. It shows that accused had pressurized the informant and the witnesses. Therefore, grounds mentioned by learned advocate for accused are not sufficient to grant him leniency, and he is not entitled for minimum punishment. On the other hand, correct message should be sent to the society that such offences will not be weighed lightly and the wrongdoer will be punished severely. Accordingly, I pass the order. So that's it. I'll definitely share the judgments link here, and please get to go through it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please do like, share and subscribe Lord Dunning's Law House. So that's it.